Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, what's up? My name is vianney.strick. Thank you so much for being here. So I am here to help all of you, especially beginners who really want to have a makeup kit for a whole full look. And I decided to do this all completely affordable in drugstore because I know that when you're first starting out, you don't want to buy expensive makeup until you know what you like. So I'm here to recommend to you guys all the products that you need, all my favorites, and also I do have a part 2 video to this coming up, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to use all these products and how to apply them step by step and show you guys a beautiful look that will work for anyone. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this video, and if you do, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join my squad. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so just to make it really clear, today I'm only going to be showing you guys all the products that I think you would need to create a full face, and I'm also going to be showing you guys over here like the prices and everything, so it's a lot easier. And like always, I'm going to be linking everything below, so with just one click you can actually purchase it, or you can go in the store and buy it. So obviously there are different skin types and different kind of people, so with each product I'm going to give you 1 or 2 extra options depending on what you need for yourself. I'm first going to get started with the way that I would apply my makeup, and that is with primer. If you're not familiar with what primer is, you're pretty much just priming your skin before your foundation, and this comes after your skincare. It's kind of like priming a wall before the paint. Let's just say the paint is the foundation. So the reason why you do want to prime is not only to make your makeup last longer, but also to cater to your needs. So there are a lot of different needs in skin, so I'm going to go over just a couple and show you guys what products would be good for that. So if you're like me, I actually have normal to dry skin, really depending on the weather. So I love using hydrating primers or luminizing primers. This is going to give me either an extra boost of hydration, or it's going to give me some glow so that my skin can be a little bit more glowy within. So I'm going to be showing you guys 2 of these primers that do exactly that. First we have the Covergirl TruBlend Base Business Skin Primer in Illuminating. This is a really beautiful, creamy, hydrating, illuminizing primer. Honestly, I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of the Covergirl ones because a lot of their primers are really good and they do offer a lot of different options. But I also wanted to show you guys this one, which is the Wet n Wild Dewy Luminous Primer. And really the only difference in these two is that the Wet n Wild one has a lot more luminizer, so it's actually going to make your skin, you're actually going to almost look like the Tin Man, but under foundation this looks really beautiful because it's going to give you like a really beautiful glow. Every product that I talk about, obviously there's going to be way more at the drugstore. These are just ones that I recommend, but don't be afraid to just buy whatever you want. Now if you have more oily skin and you really want something to mattify and help control those oils, just go for a mattifying primer. Again, this one's also from Covergirl, and it's the Covergirl TruBlend Base Business Mattifying Primer. And now lastly, let's just talk about pore filling primers. So a lot of us tend to have larger pores, especially around this area. I do, and I love filling in my pores. So if you want more of a smooth canvas for the foundation, just use a pore minimizing primer. And this one is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. When it comes to applying pore minimizing primers, the way you want to do it is to really push it in the pores. So it's really filling in your pores to create that smooth canvas. Alright, moving right on to foundation. I have 3 foundations for the 3 skin types that I really think you all are gonna love. So this foundation has been one of my favorites, especially for the more normal to dry skin people out there. This is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Full Coverage Foundation. This actually has SPF 50. This is a really nice foundation because it is a very, very thin consistency. It is a medium coverage and it looks like skin. But since it is a very thin consistency, that's why I prefer this for dry to normal skin. Because if you have very oily skin, it actually might separate this foundation a little bit faster than regular skin. So I really recommend this for anyone that just wants like medium coverage but not too much caked on. The next foundation I want to talk about is my next favorite, and it is this one. This is the Covergirl TruBlend Matte Made Foundation, and I use the shade M80. Now, I know that says that it's matte, but I personally think it's more of a natural finish, which means it's not super dewy or super matte. I love this foundation. It is a cream rather than a liquid, and this provides a little bit more coverage. You can do medium to full coverage depending on how much you put on. This is a very beautiful, long-lasting foundations. They have 40 different shades, so you can definitely find what you're looking for. And this, to me, actually works out for like every skin type. This works for my dry skin when it's normal, and I have a lot of friends with oily skin that this also works for. So I feel like if you weren't sure of which one to get, I would definitely just go for this one. This is overall a really good foundation. But if you do have very, very oily skin and you have a lot to cover up, I do have another foundation for you that's really gonna seal the deal. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This foundation is very matte, very full coverage. So if you have dry skin, I really don't recommend this for you because it might look a little cakey on you. But if you want full coverage and you want it to last, especially with oil skin in the sun, if you just want it to last and you want a lot of good coverage, this is gonna be your best friend. And this is also super affordable. Actually, everything's really affordable in this video, but anything Wet n Wild will just be a couple of dollars cheaper than everything else, which is awesome. Okay, moving on to concealer. I wanted to share two of them with you guys. One is a little bit more full coverage, more matte, and the other one's a little bit less coverage and more creamy. Let's talk about the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. This concealer is awesome. This is one of those concealers that's gonna make your under eyes or anywhere that you're applying look really nice and healthy. It is very creamy. It's a natural finish, so it's not super dewy or super matte. It's just like a really beautiful consistency, and this will give you more of a medium coverage, and I feel like overall a lot of people would love this concealer. But if you're like me and you want full coverage concealer, then definitely try this guy out. This is the Covergirl TruBlend Undercover Concealer. In my opinion, I feel like this is the best concealer on the market right now when it comes to drugstore. I actually am wearing it under my eyes right now. This is full coverage, and it does dry matte. So it is gonna be very long lasting. It's gonna cover up any under eye circles that you have. Like I said, it really just depends on what you're going for. So these two are great for, if you don't have a lot to cover up, then you can go ahead and use the Milani one. But if you're a full coverage queen like I am, definitely try the Covergirl one. Okay, so for powder, I'm actually gonna show you guys my favorite powder of all time. I do like other powders, but I feel like this is just the best for really any skin tone, and it seems like everybody else loves it too. So let's just stick to one, and it is this guy. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, and I have the shade 10 Fair Light. The cool thing about this is that it sets your makeup beautifully. You can actually bake with it as well. It has a bunch of different shades. I personally like a more light yellow tone, but there are darker ones, and I think there's one that's lighter than this. This is gonna be good to set under your eyes, to set your whole face, and it doesn't have any flashback. And by flashback, I mean, you know, sometimes when you take a flash picture and your face looks white, sometimes products tend to do that, and all the products that I'm talking about right now do not give any flashbacks, so do not be worried about that. This is such an awesome powder. It will make your skin look so smooth and flawless. So when it comes to contouring, I wouldn't necessarily recommend contouring for a beginner, but if you're really curious about it and you just want a product to practice with, I do want to show you guys a very affordable and really nice contour palette. And it is this one. This is the KOKIE Cosmetics Powder Contour Palette. This is a really good go-to. It does have a mirror, and it has a lot of different contour and highlight shades. You can find KOKIE Cosmetics online and at Walmart. If you want a discount code, I'm actually an affiliate with them, so you can use the code VS for 25% off their website. So this is just a really nice contour kit. Again, it is powder, and if you want to dabble in some of that, then this is a good product to do that with. So when it comes to bronzer, there is one bronzer that is a cult favorite for anyone, drugstore or high-end. There is one bronzer that is amazing, and if you're gonna buy one, get this one. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and they do have a couple shades. Mine is in the shade Deep. By the way, the compact does have a mirror. This is probably the best formula of bronzer you'll ever find. It is so smooth, and it applies so effortlessly, and that's why not only do I think that's good for everyone, but especially for a beginner. You don't want a bronzer that goes on really pigmented or really patchy. This is just like the perfect amount of everything. I will say it has a very strong smell of like coconuts and like summery vibes, but once you do apply it to the skin, the scent doesn't linger. So if you don't like scents, don't worry, you're not going to be smelling it all day, but on the pan it does smell a lot, but it smells really good. Some of the shades are pretty neutral, so you can actually get away with contouring with this as well. So definitely check this out. So for blushes, you can either choose a matte blush or a shimmery blush depending on what you like. I will say if you have a lot of texture or big pores around your cheek, I would probably stay away from luminizing blushes because those tend to really bring out those pores or texture. So the go-to that I really just like to recommend to everybody for a very affordable blush, a lot of shades to choose from and very pigmented, is this one. So this is the Wet n Wild Color Icon, and this specific blush is in the shade Pearlescent Pink. So these are from Wet n Wild. Like I said, they're very pigmented, so you do have to go in with a light hand, but it means it's also going to last you a really long time. They do have matte shades as well as shimmers. This one has a little bit of shimmer in it, and they are under like $3. They have a lot of product and they have a lot of different shades. So I really think for someone that's not trying to spend a lot of money but wants a really nice product. So I will tell you guys two of my favorite highlights that I love from the drugstore. I know some people don't really care to put on highlight and some people do. If you're wondering, highlight is what I have on my cheekbones, on my nose, on my forehead. It really just makes whatever feature on your face pop. I really love highlight, and also if your skin's looking a little dry, you can actually make it look really glowy with highlights. So there's two highlighters at the drugstore that I really think are the best formula and the best payoff and the best quality for the price. The first one that I'm going to talk about is this one. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter, and I have the shade Molten Gold. So just remember, with these powder highlights, there are different shades, especially if you're lighter or darker than I am, or you just want a different tone on your face. They have different ones. This is actually the highlight that I am wearing right now. You can go in with a light hand and get more of a subtle glow, or you can go in with a heavier hand and just look like, as we say here, a glazed donut. This formula is so beautiful, it almost feels like a cream. You can get a very metallic highlight, and it's just amazing and long lasting. You have another highlight that I really like. It's not as creamy as this one, but I feel like you can go in with a lighter hand with the other one. And of course, it's from Wet n Wild. I love Wet n Wild. So this one is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder, and this one's in the shade Precious Petals. Both of these are amazing. Again, they both have different shades. This one is a little bit more affordable, but they're both amazing. You won't go wrong with either one. So now that we're done with the base, we can move on to eyes and lips. I want to talk about eyeshadows with you guys for a minute. I will show you guys eyeshadow palettes that you can find at the drugstore, but I also want to show you guys two palettes that are very affordable, and you can actually walk into Ulta and buy it for a drugstore price. So let's talk about those palettes first, and then I'll give you guys alternative that you can just walk into a CVS and buy. First palette that I want to talk about is this one. This is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. So this is from Morphe, which is a brand that is sold online, but it's now sold at Ulta. This palette is pretty big, but it has so many shades of eyeshadow, and it has such a beautiful formula. If you're a beginner and you really want to start dabbling with some color, but you still want some neutrals, this is a really nice palette. It is a mix of mattes and shimmers, and as you guys can see, it does have some bright colors, but it also provides a lot of warm neutrals for your everyday looks or your smoky eyes. Now, if you don't want to buy a palette this big and you really don't need too many colors, I'm going to show you guys my go-to favorite palette that I think everybody needs, and it's the perfect palette. It is this palette. This is from ColourPop, and it is called Double Entrande. This is the palette that I love recommending to people. These are the shades. So as you guys can see, again, there's matte and shimmers, but they're all very neutral. It's actually the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes right now, but in the video tutorial, I'm gonna show you guys how to create the perfect smoky eye in only like 5 steps, and it is with this palette. I really love this because there are lighter neutrals for your everyday colors or your crease. There are darker neutrals to really smoke out or deepen an eye look, and there are shimmers as well to add a little bit of luminosity to your look. So I really like this palette. It is very small, so it's very compact, great for traveling, and again, you can buy this at Ulta in store for, I believe, 10 to 15 bucks, and it is so worth it. Now, if you don't really want to go on a trip to Ulta and you just want what you want from like CVS or Walgreens or Walmart, I do have some options for you guys. I think the best palettes at like the actual drugstore are from Wet n Wild. So these are actually the Wet n Wild Color Icon eyeshadow palettes. So this one is in the shade Not a Basic Peach, and this one is in Rosé in the Air. As you guys can see, they have a lot of beautiful shades, again, mattes and shimmers. These are amazing and they're very, very affordable. So if you do go to the drugstore, I definitely recommend these out of all of them. But if you can get your way to ULTA, those other palettes are also amazing. Okay, so when it comes to eyeliner, I kept it very simple. I'm gonna show you guys a pencil liner and more of a liquid liner. So let's talk about the pencil liner first. This is the Essence Super Fine Eyeliner Pen and it is waterproof. Essence is super, super affordable. You can find them at CVS and at ULTA. And I'm not sure what other drugstore, but just look up Essence, watch or look up their website. Everything is like just like Wet n Wild. It's like very affordable and a lot of this stuff is really nice. The reason why I picked this particular liner is because it is a felt tip. And by felt tip, I mean it is kind of like a marker. So as you guys can see, it looks like a marker with a very, very fine tip. If you're a beginner and you want to try out some eyeliner, but you don't want to use something that is too fragile, definitely try this because we all know how to hold a pen. So just hold it like a marker or a pencil and all you have to do is draw on the line. And I just feel like these are just very easy, especially if you don't have a steady hand. This is going to be really nice. Like you can literally just stamp on a line. If you're feeling a little bit more adventurous and you want to try something a little bit more liquid, definitely try this. Very affordable. Again, this is the Wet n Wild Mega Liner and I do have it in the shade Black. This is essentially the same thing. It's just going to come out a little bit more liquidy, but I picked a eyeliner that would also have a little bit of a felt tip. As you guys can see, it has that felt tip, which is going to make it a lot easier to put eyeliner on. Some eyeliners come in a little brush applicator and I find those to be a little bit more difficult to use, so really stick to felt tip. So for mascara, it's really your preference on what you like. I'm going to show you guys 3 of my favorites, but I will say there are a lot more mascaras that I really love. I think the best brands for mascara is Maybelline, L'Oreal, and Essence. So for Maybelline, I really enjoy this one. This is the Maybelline Falsies Push-Up Drama. And I also really like this one from L'Oreal. This is the Ultimate Mascara. Both of these are really nice to give you a lot of length and separation. If you want something to give you a little bit more volume, definitely try this one and a lot of the other Essence mascaras that are like $3 and they're amazing. So this is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. So yeah, like I said, there are so many mascaras out there, but I really think if you are just trying to find a lot of good ones, look at Maybelline first and Essence and L'Oreal. I really think that they have like the best quality for the price. All right, looks like we're almost done. So we're gonna talk a little bit about brow products and then we're gonna just finish out with lips. So when it comes to brows, there are so many different products that you could use. There are pencils, pomades, powders, gels. So I'm gonna show you guys one of everything of my favorites, and in the video tutorial I'm going to show you how I use 2 of them, which is like kind of like my go-to. So for pencils, I have been really loving this one from Maybelline. It is called the Total Temptation Brow Definer, and I personally use the shade medium brown. It really comes to preference and like what your brows look like, but this pencil is more of a thicker kind of pencil, which I personally prefer because it helps me like fill in my eyebrows a lot faster. But if you do have a lot of eyebrows already and you just have a couple sparse areas, you could also get a pencil that's a lot thinner so you could just draw in hair-like strokes. So for a pomade pretty much is just kind of like a cream, like in between a cream and a gel, and you use it with a brush and you can draw on your eyebrows. But personally, I really think that this requires a little bit more skill, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend this to a beginner. But if you're willing to try it, I just wanted to recommend you a really good one that I love, and it is the KOKIE Cosmetics Brow Pomade Gel, and I use the shade Medium Brunette. This is extremely long wearing and pigmented and awesome, and again, you could also use my code VS for 25% off. But my favorite eyebrow product at the moment that I really think all of you guys should get is a brow gel. So these are the same thing, except one is tinted and one is clear. So these are the Covergirl Easy Breezy Brow Gels, and again, this is clear and deep. What what a brow gel is gonna do for you, it's really essentially just a brow mascara. It's gonna grab all those hairs in place and you just brush it through and it really makes those hairs stay. So this is really nice if you just need your hairs to stay in place, but if you also want it to fill in your brows a little bit more, use a tinted one. So this way you are coating them with pigmented gel, so that way it makes your eyebrows look a little bit thicker and a little bit filled in. You could actually get away with just using a tinted brow gel if you have enough brows. All you have to do is coat them through. Just remember guys, I know this is a lot of information, but in the next video I'm just going to show you guys how to apply everything, so don't you worry. Okay, and moving on to lips, there are so many lip products at the drugstore. I was just going to show you guys a couple brands that I think makes amazing lip liners. I personally really love the Covergirl. These are the Exhibitionist lip liners. They are the little retractable ones, so you don't have to sharpen them. They're very creamy. Wet n Wild makes some exactly like this as well. I also love Maybeliine lip liners as well as NYX lip liners. So these are like my favorite brands of lip liners. And for lipsticks, again, there are so many products. Personally, I really like the bullet lipsticks from Covergirl and also from Milani and from Maybelline. They have awesome, super pigmented, really creamy lipsticks. When it comes to liquid lipsticks, I really like the ones from L'Oreal as well as from Wet n Wild. So all those are really beautiful liquid lipsticks. The last thing we're going to talk about is setting spray. And if you don't know what a setting spray is, all it is a spray that you put on once you finish your makeup so that it not only lasts longer, but it also caters to your skin, and it also makes all the powders look less powdery. It kind of makes everything like blend together. When I say cater to your skin, I mean you could use a luminous setting spray if you have, again, more dry skin or you just want it to look more luminous. My favorite product for that is this one. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Shake and Glow Dew Mist. This is gonna make your skin look so healthy and dewy, and it just makes you radiate. You can also use setting spray to just refresh your makeup if you've been wearing it for a long time. And the other setting spray that I want to talk about, in case you don't want something so luminous, I've been really enjoying these ones from Wet n Wild. This one's in the scent Rose, but they also have Cucumber, a non-scented one, and they also have a coconut, and they're all really beautiful. So this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Rose 3-in-1 makeup spray. I know this was a lot of information. I'm quickly just going to give you 2 tips for makeup application tools. I really think that the best brushes for the quality, the price, everything that I've ever purchased are from BH Cosmetics. I've literally had a brush set from them since I was in college, and I wash it all the time and they don't shed and they're amazing. So definitely look at BH Cosmetics. They have a lot of brush sets, which I think is really helpful, especially for someone just starting out, and they're very inexpensive and they have a lot of sales, so definitely just wait for a sale. And when it comes to makeup sponges, you really don't need to spend a lot of money on them. The one that Wet n Wild has is really, really nice and really soft, and e.l.f. has another one as well. They're both very inexpensive and they are my favorite. Again, I will be showing you guys how to apply everything in my next video, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you found it helpful. Definitely let me know if you guys have any questions. I read through all my comments and try to answer to as many as possible. Watch out for the next video. If you're watching this the day that I posted this next video will come out in a couple days, but if it's already out, I will link it down below. So I love you guys so much, and thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.